Tasawwuf has been defined, it's been described, and it's been explained in many, many different ways. تَبْلُغُ نَحْوَ الْأَلْفَيْنِ. It will reach up to about 2,000 different definitions. مَرْجِعُ كُلِّهَا لِصِدْقِ التَّوَجُّهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. All of those definitions go back to one fundamental meaning: sincerity in your God-directedness. It's sincerity in your inner direction towards your Lord. That's the definition. وَإِنَّمَا هِيَ وُجُوهٌ فِيهِ وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ. So, what does that mean? What it means is, the genus of tasawwuf is ikhlas. That's the genus. It's sincerity. But the difference, because you can be sincere as a doctor, you're sincere, like you say, he's a very sincere doctor. Just means he doesn't cheat you, he's doing what should be done, right? So that's, the genus sincerity applies to many, many different things. He's a sincere student. He's a sincere son. We can apply that to, but what is the difference? What's the fasl? It's sincerity in your directedness towards God, in those things that apply to your Lord. So you are sincere in your ibadah. You're sincere in your mu'amalat for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's tasawwuf. And that's why you can be a Sufi and be like, have nothing to do with that word. There's people in places that they might even not even like tasawwuf. They don't want to have anything to do with it. But they have sidq al-tawajjuh to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in that way, they have tasawwuf. So the name is just a name. What's the reality of the name? If you're stuck on the name, you're a nominalist. The name is just a name. Whether you call it tasawwuf or tazkiyah or ikhlas or tahara, taharatu nafs, right? Whatever you call it, it doesn't matter. Those are names. The Muslims for centuries called it tasawwuf. There's no reason to abandon that name, really. There's no reason. There's people that have tried to get rid of it, but there's no reason to abandon it once you clarify what it is. And the earliest Sufis, Imam al-Junayd said, no one can speak about this matter that hasn't mastered the book and the sunnah. That's what Imam Junayd said. Imam al-Tusturi said, I hear things about this matter, but I always go to two just witnesses to hear their testimony, the book and the sunnah. And this is why Sidi Ahmed Zarruq says, the Sufi has to submit to the faqih, and the faqih doesn't have to submit to the Sufi. If your tasawwuf is not in accord, and not some narrow-minded provincial faqih who only has one way of doing things, no, to the broad-based interpretive tradition of the fuqaha, which includes the methodology of the great imams of this ummah. So there's imams that say that you can do the mawlid, and that's the majority of the later scholastic tradition. There's imams that say, no, don't do that. That's fine. It's a khilaf issue. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But if you do it, it has to be free of things that are munkarat. But to say it in and of itself is a munkar, no. Because غاية ما يقال فيه مكروه. غاية ما يقال. The worst that can be said about it is that it's makruh, according to the ulama. But to say that it's prohibited or something like that, I mean, that's an extreme position that very few scholars ever took. So anyway, that's my introduction. So inshallah.